Thanks for joining us on the Market Day Report. Let's dive right into our futures trade and see what the grain markets are doing this morning. Let's take a look at that corn market here for you. Currently still on the weaker side. We have the March corn currently trading a penny lower at $3.59. The May contract 1 1/4 lower at $3.65 3/4, and that is after reporting some overnight sales, significant overnight sales as well of corn. We had 130,000 tons of corn sold to Taiwan for the current marketing year, and 241,600 tons sold to unknown destinations. And that was not enough to hold up the corn market. It's still lower anyway. Now on the soybean trade, here we go with the March. We're 5 1/4 higher at 10.1/2 per bushel. In the wheat trade, we have Chicago March 1 1/2 lower at 425 3/4. Kansas City March is now trading 1 lower at 437 1/2. Minneapolis spring wheat trade is now trading 2 3/4 lower at 557 on that March contract. And the cotton contract on the March is 46 higher at 73.45 as it rebounds from the losses yesterday. Let's go to the trading floor in Chicago. There we have none other than, well, Mr. Bubba himself, Todd Bubba Horwitz of BubbaTrading.com. How you doing, Todd?
Good morning, Marlon.
All right, let's take a look at this grain trade here. Kind of choppy action here. They're going all directions, but not going very far from unchanged, at least for the time being anyway. What's the talk on the floor? Is everybody kind of focusing on Thursday now?
Well, I don't know that we're focusing on Thursday. I think what you really have to look at here is corn and wheat both ran up to resistance levels. So I think that's got that taken care of, and they should pull back a little bit. Soybeans around $10 is the key area in March, and we've been on both sides overnight. So if we can hold up and get to 10.20, then we'll see some action. But a lot of this action gets priced in ahead of time anyway. So that's what I look at, is how the markets are reacting, and I think they're reacting exactly how I would expect them.
All right, and we've talked at length about this commodity index fund rebalancing that's taking place this week. I assume we're kind of in the middle of it right now. What do you see happening there with that?
You know, I don't know that it really makes anything really a big deal anymore. I think a lot of these tools that we use are basically antiquated. It's almost like the Dow. You know, when you rebalance an index, you're trying to make it curve fit what's going on. I think we can see what's going on without the index.
Okay, let's take a look here. We had the export sales reported overnight. It was interesting, Todd, in my reading of the news here this morning, that the trade was able to just ignore that overnight export sale of corn, 2 batches, pretty big batches, and it traded lower anyway. There's got to be something else at work here that's pulling that corn market and keeping it from going higher as a result.
Well, no, I think we're up at resistance, so I think it was a natural. You know, we had a great rally at the end of last week. So as we rallied into resistance, that information, the way I read it, was already priced into the market. So now we need more. You know, we're always craving more. So I think now we'll see what's next, and of course, Thursday's report is going to be something, but we'll see what gets priced in ahead of time. But markets are so excruciatingly quiet right now that it's hard to really get a good gauge anyway.
All right, what about the outside markets, like the dollar value? It's been chopping around too today.
Well, I think the dollar 103, the high is the high. I think now you're going to see the dollar start to pull lower. I think a little bit of a rally back to 102 or a little bit over, and I think we're going to see a dollar even and then lower. I think the dollar has seen its overall move, and it will come lower here quite a bit. I think that oil is working its way back lower again. We're going to probably look at 50 for our first target, but I'm still looking for that low 40 level before I'd want to look to hedge for next year. So, and the Dow is still flirting, trying to get to 20,000.
All right, and we're watching it very closely with everybody else. Interesting take on the crude oil market, too. I want to pause for a little break here, Todd, and I want to bring you back and talk about this livestock trade, a little bit firmer tone here on the cattle market in the early going. We'll cover it all when we come back in just one moment. We're talking right now with our very special guest, Todd Bubba Horwitz of BubbaTrading.com. He is positioned right at the edge of the CME Group trading floor. And I want to talk with you about this livestock side here, Todd. This time around, on the cattle side, we started out a little firmer today. Now, we did have some pretty good closes on the cattle complex yesterday. A lot of contracts were over $1.50 higher. And here we have the February live cattle contract, for example, now at $117.15 per hundredweight. That's up 63 cents on the day. And we have the April contract $0.50 higher at $116.48. It seems like we definitely have a firmer tone here. Now, on the feeder cattle side, Here we have the March contract 82 higher at 126.32, and the April up 78 at 125.88. There isn't any guidance really coming out of the cash cattle trade because nothing happened yesterday.
You know, there's no real guidance anywhere. I think right now you're having a little bit of a battle between the speculator sellers and the speculator buyers, and they're really squeezing the shorts right now. You know, I've been a little bit negative cattle over the last couple of weeks, and I'm really just looking for a spot to buy. And I think others had that same idea, and you've had a few step in trying to sell these, and then of course we can't get them down far enough, so they turn right around and the buyers step back in. I think we're pretty near a near-term top, and I think we will see some selling. But again, the markets aren't going to announce when they're ready. But for my money, I would not be a new buyer up here. I might not be a seller because of where we're going, but I'm certainly not a buyer.
Well, I did hear that the asking prices out in the country could be around 120 or 121 or so. Didn't hear anything from the Packer bids yet this morning, although some analysts say that they think the Packers are a little short bought. What do you think about that?
Well, I think they might be. I mean, they've been trying to stay a little bit short bought, I think. I'm hearing some things from some of the people that I know that have, in both in cattle and in hogs, they're staying a little bit short bought. So I think one of the things you can watch here is we might see some accumulation here, which could drive prices a little bit lower.
Okay, on the cash hogs, are the Packers willing to bid up today or not?
I think that we came down yesterday right down to a perfect support in this consolidation range that we're in. I think we go up to the top end and they sell them again. I think we're going to break to the downside here. Again, I'm looking to buy, but overall not here. I think we're going to come down another 4 or 5%.
Really? Okay, now let's take a look at our futures trade here on the lean hogs. Let's go to the board. Currently, it is a mixed session going on. We have the nearbys going one way, the deferreds the other. The February lean hogs currently trading 40 cents higher. Last trade now is 64.15 per hundredweight. You know, the entire trading range is only about 55 cents so far in that one. The April contract 17 higher at 68.55, and the May contract is down 20 cents at 73.65. Now that one is just, it's the high end. Well, also it's on the low and only one tick from the high, so not much volume apparently taking place in that May contract. Todd, I want to point out once again, you have that website called BubbaTrading.com, and you have a lot of educational material on there for folks that maybe are learning how to protect themselves in the markets there. And I know you work a lot with young folks as well, training them on how to handle it as a good business opportunity too.
Absolutely, yeah. I love to do webinars to help teach and educate, in financial literacy, not only adults, but I'm in 199 high schools right now that I'm using my program that I actually fund myself.
Excellent work. Appreciate that. And Todd, good to visit with you again. We'll have you back here real soon, all right?
Thanks, Marlon. Have a great day.
You bet. Todd, Bubba Horwitz of BubbaTrading.com. You have to check out that website, Christina. It's got a lot of great info on it.
Yeah, 199 high schools. It's
Isn't that
really
awesome?
Impressive. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Markets Editor Marlon Bull.